Hi, my name is Ben Rothler, and today I'm going to be talking about a very dangerous epidemic and disease that is killing many people in this country. Of course, talking about drug addiction. Now, drug addiction isn't necessarily something new to this country. Back in the 1980s and the early 90s, we had a crack cocaine epidemic that killed a lot of people. But this epidemic is different. It's an opioid epidemic. And many people from all types of socioeconomic demographics are dying, not just one group of people in one area that are dying. Part of the reason is that we as a society aren't doing a good enough job at educating the dangerous effects of these drugs in general. We have had many ineffective ways in stopping our youth from doing drugs, such as the war on drugs or the Just Say No campaign by the Reagans. The opioid crisis is taking too many lives, period. According to the National Institute of Drug Abuse, in 2017 alone, there was 70,232 opioid-related deaths. Now, compare that to 1999, when only 16,489 people died from opioid overdoses. Now, that's a substantial increase, and something that should actually scare us. Fentanyl is on the rise in America and is actually what's contributing to a lot of these deaths. The Drug Enforcement Agency, or the DEA, says that fentanyl is a dangerous synthetic opioid that is 80 to 100 times more potent than morphine, and we all know that morphine is very addictive and very dangerous as well. But why do we have fentanyl? Well, originally fentanyl was used as a pain reliever for cancer patients. A lot of times it was just administered to the cancer patients via a patch on that you would put on your skin, and it would go to work. But because of the potent effect, it is often used by users trying to get high or drug dealers trying to cut their product and make their product stretch. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention said in an article released in May of this year that there has been a 47% increase of fentanyl-related deaths. There were roughly 28,400 fentanyl overdoses in 2017. But the fentanyl that people are dying from aren't necessarily the fentanyl that's made in a pharmacy. Some random guy in a basement could be making this fentanyl that's killing people. What makes it even more dangerous is that anybody can buy a pill press. What you might be thinking is Xanax that some guy gave you in a container looking just like this is actually might, have cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl on it, all in one. So you really never know. What cutting fentanyl or other dangerous things into drugs is, it could cause a high concentration of drugs in one area and a low concentration of fatal drugs in another area. So one person might be getting, Xanax or hydrocodone or whatever. Some people might be getting, 50% fentanyl. We never know. And not only are normal people dying from this, but a lot of famous people are dying as well. Tom Petty, an American beauty. I love Tom Petty, but he unfortunately died from opioid and fentanyl related death. Prince, a legendary musician, he died from fentanyl. Mac Miller, a young rapper who was 26 years old, died from fentanyl last year. But it's not only artists and musicians, even professional athletes are dying, such as Tyler Skaggs, who was a pitcher for the MLB team, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, which is also my favorite team. Go Angels! Now, why is this happening? Well, we as a society aren't doing a good enough job educating people. High schools and middle schools aren't teaching kids properly about drug use. For example, when I was in middle school or high school, I didn't have any lectures about drug use. In fact, I can't remember any. But, granted, I went to a very small conservative Christian school, but even at my school, kids are still doing Xanax, which is a popular drug amongst high school kids. We don't know the long-term effects, and so often are people naively experimenting with drugs that can be very harmful for the long-term being, and they kill people. According to an article written in drugpolicy.org, heroin abuse doubled amongst people ages 18 to 25, many of which they started abusing opioids. Most of the users that have overdosed started abusing drugs when they're in high school also, which also contributes, Xanax, the kids are doing that in high school, they graduate to heroin and whatnot. The United States has also done a very poor job at creating effective ways to prevent kids from doing drugs. The war on drugs was very effective in creating criminals, but it didn't stop people from using or selling drugs. In fact, a statistic produced by the Center for American Progress, every 25 seconds someone is arrested for possessing of drugs. It reached 1.15 million people arrested on drug possession. Now, we're just creating criminals. We're not rehabilitating people or teaching them the dangerous effects. Also a popular campaign was the Just Say No campaign. That was instituted by the Reagan administration. The Reagans wanted to expand their war on drugs, so they implemented the anti-drug campaign and the DARE program. A study done by the Department of Justice states that it was highly ineffective, however. In fact, cocaine use got higher during that time. But they should have just said no, right? Now, this opioid crisis is one of the worst phases in American history. It has killed many people and has infiltrated every community in America. It is killing our youth and it's only getting worse. The rapid drug abuse is not only killing us, but it is going to criminals that are using that money to expand the criminal operation and influence. These criminals are dangerous and we are just helping them survive and get stronger. Thank you for listening to this speech. And again, my name is Ben Rothler, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.